Hello and welcome to live match reaction here on the Rangers Rabble. I'm Martin Douglas. And they just changed the names before he started. I'm joined by Scott number 1 and Scott number 2. Gents, how are you?
Been better.
Aye, not too bad. Could be better, but not too bad.
Could be much better. Obviously, the podcast is live on YouTube and Facebook. If you're watching, please leave a like, subscribe, follow, all that nonsense. We're available on Twitter. Do you know what? None of that matters today. I'm too pissed off. Scott number 1. That was brutal, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was brutal because I just felt like they disappeared. I mean, I don't know where they've gone. It's not like they can go on holiday, but they just there was a distinct lack of effort. I thought I didn't think Hamilton really had to do much aside from give the effort and the desire and the application to get something from the game. And, they did do that. And, it's quite obvious that they deserve something. But if you're a player and you've taken part in that performance, I'd probably give an exception to Jack and Davis. If you've taken part in that, you've got to be thoroughly embarrassed by your efforts and your output. Just shocking.
Yeah, well, and I've got to say, look, quick comment for Aldo McNaught. It's not that bad. 55 is still coming. Look, we all know we're still going to win the league, but I'm a very reactive person, and when I see a performance like that, Scott number 2, it doesn't matter if you've already won the league. A performance like that, where the players just never got off the bus. There was no closing down. The passing was slow. We didn't look like we were interested.
Oh, no, you're right, Martin. To be honest with you, I think one of the games we've had in the last few, against the last few teams we've played, we've sneaked past with 1-0 victories, and McGregor saved us a few times. Looked like he was going to do it today until the very end, but no, it wasn't great. Hamilton, like Scott said, Hamilton they weren't great, but they done their job. They set out their stall, they pressed us, they were aggressive, and we couldn't cope. And we've got quality players where we should be beating the high press and end up 3-3 attacking, but that wasn't happening. And to be honest with you, a draw was probably a deserved result for Rangers, and it's not good enough, especially when you're going for a title. Like I've said all week, I'm nervous, so if I'm sitting nervous, even though I would keep saying the title's over, in my opinion, it's not over until it's over. So the players should be saying the same, but they're only human like us. So I think nerves plays a part as well. It shouldn't, but I think it does.
No, they're only human like us, Scott number 1. This is going to do my nothing, by the way, this whole live stream. They are only human like us, but it's so weird to see a full team off it. Apart from actually, do you know what? That's not fair. I actually thought Big Itten in the first half played really well, considering he's not had a lot of game time. When the ball came to him, he done what he had to do. There was no support for him.
Actually, you're right. I think I was a bit unfair when I started my mini rant there. Itten, I thought he was unlucky to be taken off. I thought he was, in the first half, he was completely isolated. He should have had willing runners supporting him. But every time he brought the ball down, and he did do that so well, he was trying to find someone to lay off. If he could find someone, there was someone there, but that was it. There was only 2 of them. I was expecting more from Barisic and Tavernier to come up and really drive the team forward. Expecting more from Hadji, Aribo, and Kent especially. I thought Kent was miles off it. I think he's been really, really hot and cold for a long, long time now. I'm not too fussed about the draw in isolation. I'm not too fussed. I'm not too concerned about the title. I don't think this is going to be a start of a bad run or anything like that. But I'm really, really disappointed because we've got a real opportunity now to put the league to bed and focus on Europe. And we need to start getting momentum. And, it looked like the players weren't bothered. It just, some of the decision making, unwilling runners, slack passing, it just screamed like a lack of concentration. And I'm loath to point fingers, but I think Tav has been off the boil for a long time now as well. And he was probably one of the worst offenders. His decision making was just shocking. Absolutely shocking. I don't think he had a redeeming quality. I actually tweeted, I would have taken him off and brought Patterson on, not because I think Patterson's a better player. or anything like that. I just think that sends a massive message through the team that complacency will not be tolerated.
And that was one of the main things I asked in the preview. Kerr, I'm going to call you Kerr, not Scott number 2, because that's Damon Martin.
You can change the names, you know.
I know. I don't know how to. Kerr is, as I said, the preview, complacency, and look, Wolf has messaged in attitude. It's no coincidence we've drawn 1-1 against bottom of the league side twice, and that's not something that you would expect from a Steven Gerrard team, is it?
It isn't, no, but the problem with Steven Gerrard, sometimes it changes things too late, and other times I thought starting the game with Zungu, he done it against St Mirren in the Cup, and we lost that game. I thought the boy was off the pace, and I thought today was in a game to put him in, just for the fact you're playing against a side who are very compact, Hamilton. They're hard to beat either. They're bottom of the league, but they've got a pattern. Brian Rice always plays a good way of playing. He presses teams, they're aggressive, and they're tough to play against. Might not score many goals, but are tough to play against. We found that out twice. So I think start with your strongest side, no matter who you're playing against. Then if you go 2 up, 3 up, you can make it established, but don't do it the opposite way, because sometimes you get into trouble. We were lucky against St Johnstone, we managed to squeeze past because Alan saved us at the end. But today we never. So just start with your strongest 11, take it from there. Don't put players in who's maybe off the boil, who's not played for a while. Not until the league's finished.
I know, and we've got another contender, Scott, I think, for Wolf's internet issues. There we go. Listen, this is the one and only time I'm going to say this during this reaction, Scott. Hamilton played really well for Hamilton. We were well below par, but in the overall 90 minutes, because it's about what we do, it's not about what other teams do, but Hamilton did deserve at least a point for that game.
Yeah, you can't turn up for 15, 20 minutes of a 90-minute football match and expect to have the divine right to walk away with 3 points. I'm not, ordinarily I'll be looking at it going, I'm really disappointed because we got ourselves into the winning position and let it slip. It wouldn't actually change my reaction at all with the 3 points. It was just. It was a disgraceful performance. It's as simple as that. I wasted my time watching it. Just absolutely disgusted. And it was a criticism levelled at Gerrard throughout. Well, it's been levelled at him throughout his tenure that he has his favourites. He has his favourites, his soldiers, but they seem untouchable and droppable. I don't know how Kent lasted 90 minutes. It was frustrating me. He wasn't very productive. His end product wasn't good. Disappointed.
And Kerr, I suppose we'll discuss Ryan Kent a wee bit. Look, I've said that even when he's not playing well, he's still an important player for us because of the space that he creates, the running that he does on and off the ball. But one of the big things, and I've mentioned this before, is when he gets into that position in front of goal, he's absolutely hopeless. And that showed again today. He had an easy chance 5 yards out that he should have buried.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. His decision making at times is poor, but also agree with you saying he's a player I wouldn't drop unless he was injured, because I think he can offer something that nobody else in the team can, not unless we've got somebody who can replace him. Because I thought when Scott Wright come on and Davis and Jack come on, I thought Kent got into the game more. I thought he looked a bit more lively, and it's his off the ball work I like Ryan Kent. He tracks back, whereas you've got Aribo, to me, who's very frustrating. Joe's got all the ability in the world, but he's frustrating as end because he can do something really good, or he's dead lazy. You don't really get in between. I think Glenn Kamara playing with him struggles. I think Glenn Kamara's better when he plays with Jack or Davis, but Ryan Kent, I wouldn't drop. I know he's got his critics, but I'll keep him in the team just for the fact that he offers something. He can offer a bit of magic that we don't have for other players, but he's a winger, and you're going to get that for forward players. Inconsistency, especially at the level we play at, he's going to get that. If he was any better than that, he wouldn't be with us.
No, well, maybe that is a fair point. But Scott, Zungu made his first start today. No, listen, look, I said it at half time. There's a few guys on his back. Look, get off the guy's back. He's not had a lot of game time. But in general now, it showed the difference it made to the team when Davis and Jack came on. Zungu, just a no for you?
Well, I suppose I can dial it down and be a bit polite. When you say he hasn't had a lot of game time, he's a professional footballer. They play football every day, right? But what a match shows you is his ability to actually dial into a game and want to dictate the game and control the game. If you can't do that or impose any sort of authority against Hamilton when you've got 60, 70% of the ball, then you're really going to struggle at Rangers. Not only that, when Hamilton did get the ball, they just humped it long. And then after a while, I think they sussed Zungu wasn't up for the challenge. And quite a few of our defensive frailties, I suppose, were then exposed and pressed upon because they were targeting him. And it's just a flat no from me.
Well, there's CGM in the comments has said Zungu is a thanks, but no thanks. Kerr, would you go along with that? He's come in, he's tried out, he's just no good enough.
To be honest, I agree with Scott. I like the lad. I think he's trying his best, but he's only better than what we've got. So if you want to bring somebody in as a replacement, he's somebody up with the quality we've got. I mean, I know the pros have got Davis, Jack, Arfield. They're getting a bit older in their years, especially Davis and Arfield. But Zungu's not already a replacement for anybody, so no, I would maybe let him go at the end of the season and see what else is out there.
I completely agree, obviously, but I'd be really disappointed unless there's a particular reason why we would persist, because I'd rather see a youth player be given the chance, because I genuinely don't think there could be any less imposing on a game than Zungu. I think from that perspective.
Well, yeah, I don't know. I feel sorry for the guy. I can't help it. I just feel sorry for the guy.
Well, you want everyone to succeed. You do. Everyone that pulls on the Rangers shirt, you want them to succeed. But at the end of the day, we could be a football club and a football team that is just purely loyal because, they're at our club and we want them to succeed. So we'll give them chance after chance after chance. But then you'll get nowhere. Sometimes you need to be ruthless. Actually look at them, and from the evidence of what I've seen, he's not good enough. So I say, shake hand. Thank you very much, Mr. Zungu. Thank you for putting in your effort, but we're going to go for a different path.
Right, well, listen, there's been a wee bit of breaking news, I think, because it's coming from Wilf Marshall, and I believe most of the things that Wilf tells me. This must have been on an interview or something, because I haven't heard that. But apparently, Kerr were appealing Roof's charge. Now, there's obviously going to be a couple of reasons why Rangers are appealing it, but do you agree?
Yeah, I do, because it was dealt with, and if you look at the rules set out, if the referee deals with a decision in the park, that's it. So why change the rules halfway through a season? If a referee's missed it, like he done with Morelos' win, then you can see the compliance office getting in. And that's why McGregor was cited anymore, because he got a yellow card when Morelos didn't get booked. So maybe that was a difference there. But Roof got a yellow card, so why upgrade it all of a sudden? Don't change the rules halfway through a season to suit someone, to suit a certain thing. Just keep it going the way it is. There's no consistency with SFA or with Scottish football. It's a joke. But anytime we saying, the refs are all for you, no, I agree with Rangers appealing it. It might get upgraded. No likely, probably a good chance it will be, because it's Rangers. But Stephen Robinson said before, he didn't mean it. He didn't to protect himself. He caught the guy, and it wasn't a challenge that injured Murray Davis in the game anyway. It was another challenge. So he got yellow carded. End of story.
I mean, Scott, for me, it was a red card, but I don't really. That's not the issue at hand here. The issue at hand was that he was booked for it. He was given a yellow card for it, and then all of a sudden it's getting re-refereed, if you like, the VAR debate, blah blah blah. Listen, we could go into it all, but do you agree with Rangers appealing it, or do you think it could be a mistake?
No, 100%. I also think I heard somewhere that because of the challenge, it can't be upgraded, so it's a 2-match ban. If they appeal it, it's a 2-match ban. If they don't appeal it, it's a 2-match ban. So effectively, they've got nothing to lose by appealing it. The SFA have got a knack of manipulating their own rules. So the rule does state if the referee sees it and deals with it, that's that. But if the SFA feel that the referee didn't see the full incident, or perhaps judged it, or didn't see the particular thing that the TV shows, then they can go back and re-referee it, which is quite frankly pathetic. And the challenge itself, now I've seen it a couple of times. I think when you watch it in real time, it's a very, very quick coming together. If you slow it down and take stills from it, it will look horrendous. You could literally do that with any challenge on the football pitch for about 90 minutes. The issue, I suppose, is, did Ruth mean it? Well, no, he didn't, because I don't even think he saw him coming. He literally uses his body and his legs to shield the ball. If you've played football and you're wanting to retain possession of the ball, you will do things like this throughout a match. Now, if you're going to do this and pick up every accidental collision and start punishing people for that, then the game's gone. It's finished. So the SFA actually need to take a look at themselves, look at their process, and decide actually what they want to do from this point. Because it's going to come to a point where the referees are going to get sick of it, because every time this happens, it undermines the referee a little bit more. The referee has seen it. He's decided to caution the player. Rightly or wrongly, people can say it's a red, people can say it's only a yellow. But rightly or wrongly, he's dealt with it. So we move on. It's absolutely pathetic that we're actually talking about this. In terms of, what the process should look like, I don't really know. I'm not paid to make these decisions. But what I would suggest is, if we're not going to get VAR, which I don't like anyway, then we need to do something else. So perhaps give the referee an opportunity to analyse his decisions after the match. Let him say, this is my match report. I would like to revisit my decision. If the referee then decides immediately after the match, actually, maybe I did get that wrong, and it could be upgraded to a red, then it proceeds to the next stage. But if the referee looks at it again and decides, no more, that's it, done. He's looked at it twice now. Close the book, end of case. Instead, we're now going through this ridiculous process, and we'll probably end up talking about it for weeks. Nonsense.
Hey, anyways, sorry I fell asleep there. We'll be discussing this more, obviously. Our usual Monday podcast will be out tomorrow, so we'll discuss that a lot more. But gents, let's get back to the game. And listen, I've lost my place after Scott's fantastic essay there on the SFA and the compliance officer. But big care, Alan McGregor today. Again, look, you've ran out of superlatives for him, because he is just absolutely fantastic. And again, I don't think it's out the realms of normality to say that he saved us today.
Yeah, he did. He did. I mean, he's done that all season. It's harder for keepers at Rangers, because you can be sitting for 80 minutes in a match and you pull out 2 or 3 saves. But today was probably one of his busiest games of the season. And he made 5-6 really, really good saves, top draw saves. He was unlucky at the end with the goal. I was a wee bit critical at the time, and I said I thought he jumped over the ball, but just the way he went down. But no, he saved us today. Wasn't he? From Alan today, we could have been 2 or 3 down before we even scored.
I think it's fair to say, Scott, that one of the most unhappy people coming off of that pitch will be Alan McGregor.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be in a dressing room with him, would you?
No.
He's going to be kicking you all over the place. Yeah, I mean, interesting. In the last one, we were actually talking about McGregor versus Gorham, and I said at the time that Gorham's probably world class, but McGregor's my favourite. Yeah, that just shows you why. He's 39 years of age. I mean, I'm 34 and I get a bad back getting out of bed. I don't know how he's making some of these saves.
I'm 31 and I've got 8 chins.
What a man! What a man! You must be doing some kind of yoga or something. I don't know.
Yeah, and look, this is a point I wasn't actually going to bring up, but I think I will. CGM says, think it was a mistake playing Hollander on that pitch. Kerry says to me, do you know what, I can't even remember if it was when we already went live or just before we went live that you felt playing Hollander was a mistake. But that's obviously easy to say with hindsight. But I thought the defence in general today, including Tav, Golds and Barisic, maybe get past marks, but pretty poor.
I thought the back four wasn't great at all, to be honest with you. I thought there was no cohesion between the four of them. I thought it was just a case of even just like to basic defending. They weren't even doing that properly. They were trying to give they weren't even giving angles for passes. They were just either lumping it away or just passing it. But Haaland got caught a few times, to be honest with you, with the boy Anderson. So he was lucky. Do you know what I mean? But no, he wasn't his greatest game. And Balogun might be more suited for the AstroTurf. I don't know. But I just thought today, for the start of the game, after 8 minutes, I said to myself, I was shouting at the telly saying, we're not in this game. And to be honest with you, we weren't. And then I thought we were going to steal it at the end, but it looked like we never. But no, I don't think any defenders played well today. I don't think any midfielders played well either until Davis and Jack come on. So they weren't great, to be honest with you. Not at all.
We'll touch on that in a wee second. But Scott, Michael Charon points out. In fact, Michael, going to write in how to say your surname because I really don't want to offend you. But he points out Haaland ponderous and unsure with the ball at his feet. Scott, discuss.
Yeah, I mean, I found the previous comment quite amusing. Where was it? But I don't think. Was it a mistake playing Helander? I think he could have attributed to that about 70% of the team. I think it was a mistake playing all of them. I think they were absolutely terrible. Yeah, it was ponderous. I suppose. Yeah, I mean, it's just a symptom of Hamilton and how well they pressed. I mean, they didn't just press one man; they pressed the whole team, and they pressed quite well and with energy. I think we really missed Davis because what he does is he makes himself. I've read that as well.
Call me anything you like, Martin. Everybody else does. You really don't want to give me that kind of power, Michael.
Yeah, really miss Davis because he always gives you the option of an out ball. He's very, very quick. He'll play the 1-2s, the just sliding it past players. And we really, really missed that. And again, it highlights, the inadequacies of Zungu. Sadly, I don't want to be overly negative. I've been extremely negative today. But as I said, even if we're walking away with a win, I would have exactly the same reaction. So, yeah.
Yeah, I know because we've been exceptional all season, and you have a result like that, and you have a moan and a groan because we're fans, and it's immediate reaction. It's not like it's a day after, and you've had time to calm down, and you're still 21 points ahead or whatever. So, Kerr, our goal then, I suppose, it came for the first real bit of quality and the ability to get in behind, brought by Stephen Davis.
It was some ball with Stephen Davis. Take up kind of ball he can do. Ryan Jack done one very similar to Ryan Kent. He put him through and Kent missed it, but Davis done
hopeless.
the ball and the cross by Barisic, one of the crosses in between the goalkeeper and the back four. So even he hits it that hard, it took a deflection in the goal, but that's the kind of cross you want in. They're only putting crosses in. They're usually swung in and they're usually floated or whatever. Hard and fast across the goalkeeper and back four. Makes it difficult to defend. We've only doing that enough today. So the first time we've done it, we get someone off it. And after that, we looked quite comfortable until the last 5 minutes of that extra time. And we started to panic again. But no, it's the type of ball Stephen Davis can do. We're doing it all season. I mean, he's 36, but to be honest with you, he's probably been our best midfield player all season, without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah, and Scott, their goal. I mean, last second of the game. Like Kerr says, we're looking comfortable after we score. We're keeping the ball well. We're getting forward. And CGM writes, having said that, where was Tav for their goal?
Exactly.
Yeah, and exactly. I had a funny feeling you were going to pick up on that.
Yeah, well, I was watching it, and I was like watching it unfolding. When these things happen, it seems to happen in slow motion.
Yeah.
And Davis isn't the quickest, so you can imagine how slow that went. I was the ball goes in and I'm thinking, oh, here we go. And then after they're all celebrating away, and I'm thinking, where the bloody hell was that? I still don't know where he was. Like 94th minute of the game, you're 1-0 up, you're a right back. Yeah, and I know he plays in a forward role and all that nonsense. Why was he not defending? Where was he? Where was it? Do you know what? I've not actually watched it back, so I might be like really unfair, and he might actually be in the centre of the box with Goldson and Halander. But judging by the way that the Hamilton player quite easily won the ball in the middle of our box in the 94th minute, I doubt he was. So I don't know where he was. It was, a game, a performance by Rangers players that was littered with utter brain farts, and it was summed up in the last minute. And congratulations to Hamilton, because walking away from that game, if we're sat doing this pod with a win, we're saying how lucky we are. So congratulations, they got probably the minimum they deserve to with their efforts. So yeah, well done to them. But just touching on Davis quickly. He reminds me, right? Everyone remembers Andrea Pirlo, right? And everyone remembers how wonderful a footballer he was. But his real prominence probably came when he post 30, 31, 32. And Davis is going through this like renaissance period where he's going through a great revival at the age of 36. He's tremendous. What a footballer! Just what a footballer. Changed his game. We could build a team around it. We'll be fine for another 3 or 4 years.
Right. So just finishing up, Keir. Give me some positives for Rangers out of the day. Let's end it on a positive.
Positive. To be honest with you, I thought the boy Wright come on and done quite well. I thought the boy Scott Wright come on and looked quite well. At one point, I thought when he done a 1-2, and I thought shoot, but he tried to pass through it to Tav, and the should have just shot. But I thought he linked up well with Kent. I thought he looked for the ball. He wasn't scared. He got a bad tackle on him as well, to be honest with you, and I thought I might have been a yellow card. So I thought he come on and looked quite well. Davis and Jack have to start every game from now on. He can't keep bringing in other players. I thought
positives, Keir, positives, just positives. Just give me some positives.
To be honest with you, there's not a lot there apart from McGregor. McGregor's superb again. Man of match, and to get man of match against Hamilton, then we're struggling for positive if you're looking for that. But I thought McGregor, Davis, Jack, and Scott Wright. Apart from that, there wasn't many.
Right, Scott, give me some positives.
It can't get any worse. Can't get any worse, and we're still unbeaten, top of the league, 21 points in front, and we're playing in Europe next week. So
there you go. And on that, gentlemen, none of you can see, but my missus is standing next to me going, right, wrap it up. So, Scott, thank you very much.
Cheers.
Thank you to everybody watching. We'll be back tomorrow with our usual Monday pod. Until then, stay safe, and we shall speak to you very, very soon.